Yesterday, it looked like the New York Mets were going to sign catcher James McCann, and I was really excited. I was like, oh, Ken Rosenthal said it. It's definitely going to happen. I made a whole video about it, about how excited I was that they signed James McCann, but then as I was about to post it, I'm reading, and it's saying, well, the deal's not final yet. No deal is done quite yet. And as the day progressed, more and more it looked like maybe James McCann has not signed with the New York Mets. And then all of a sudden you hear the Los Angeles Angels are involved. And then it got me wondering what the heck is going on with this whole James McCann thing. Because this is now the second time in a week where the Mets have made significant talks or close to signing James McCann. But then nothing happens. So why has this happened twice? This is not normal, in my opinion, at least to my recollection in baseball, where like if you see usually that if a player is close to signing with that team, within the next couple hours, they sign. I mean, that's what happened with Trevor May. I was like, the Mets are in advanced talks with Trevor May. Couple hours later, boom, Trevor May signs with the Mets. This is the second time this happened with McCann now, and now today, we haven't heard a single word about it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, whether it's at the 5-yard line, the 2-yard line. I don't care what yard line it's at, because you know what? You can still be Russell Wilson, throw an interception at the goal line. You can still fumble. Like, a lot of things can happen, especially with something like this. Like, if the Angels all of a sudden want to give McCann more money, boom, McCann could go there, especially because he has California ties. Now, my main thing is I hope this is not just a decoy to try to get Real Muto's price to come down. I really hope that is not the case, because getting McCann, which I said when I recorded the video, is that like this is the right thing to do, because it allows you to get those other guys that you need, because the Mets have multiple needs. If they just need a catcher, you sign Real Muto, whatever. But the Mets have other needs. They could use a good center fielder like George Springer. They could use starting pitching like Trevor Bauer and others. If they had reported they're interested in Liam Hendricks, he would be great for the bullpen. I would love to have Liam Hendricks on the team. We'll see. Maybe that's another video. But I just know that I hope their interest in McCann is real, and this is not all just a thing to go after JT Realmuto to get him to ask his lowering price. Because let's just say, this is worst case scenario. Let's say Realmuto does not lower his asking price, and the Mets can't get him, and they're like, you know what, maybe we really should try to get McCann. And McCann says, wait a second, you guys are just trying to mess with Realmuto, and now you guys want me? Maybe I'll just go home to California and sign with the Angels. I could definitely see that being a possibility. If I'm Jason McCann, I'll say, wait a minute. If I'm your guy's second option, I'll just go to Los Angeles. I don't understand exactly what it is the Mets are trying to do here, because it really just does not make sense. Sometimes it's hard to work out the exact agreement. Is it 4 years, 36 million? Is it 4 years, 40? Is it 4 years, 48? There's a lot of different numbers circling around, which could be what is holding this deal up, is that they are just trying to figure out the exact, average annual value, any kind of bonuses or things like that. You know what? All right, maybe that could be what's taking so long, but not over a day, not over a week. Because don't forget, this report came out last week as well. It looks like the Mets were about to get McCann. And then once it came out the second time, I was like, all right, this time they got it, because, they said they're close to signing. And like I said, usually when that happens, it's a deal. But no deal quite yet. So I definitely am a little concerned. And I'm not sure exactly what the Mets are doing here, because one of the other things that's really interesting to me is that when Buster Olney tweeted about it, Steve Cohen tweeted at him, "Keep me up, Buster." And something like that makes me think that the report is either dead on or it's dead wrong. Like, it could be either way. It could be that the Mets have absolutely no interest in McCann, and this is all just to try to trick JT Realmuto. Is that, like, if he sees, Mets are about to get McCann, he goes, maybe I better lower my asking price so they'll sign me instead. I hope that is not what is going on. And what it could be is that, like the Mets have McCann, and Steve Cohen saying, all right, Buster, you'll see when we sign him. Because I don't know if Steve Cohen was telling the truth or not, but when they asked him about Trevor May, he said, I knew about that since last week. I'm not sure, because Steve Cohen definitely has a lot of troll in him. We've definitely seen him on Twitter, just going at people all the time and just making a lot of funny jokes. Like when he said the good news, bad news, good news lost 2 pounds, bad news I have nothing to report. So, we never know exactly what Steve Cohen is quite up to. And I do think that the Mets are being kind of sneaky. And one of the other things I want to talk about is this whole report of, Sandy likes Bauer and Cohen likes Springer. And I hope that it's not an either-or kind of scenario, because we were under the impression that it was a both kind of scenario. Because the reason why you get McCann is so you could get one of or both of these guys. That is why you take the cheap option McCann, so you can get these other 2 players. So I hope that does not become a thing where they have to choose one or the other. And I don't like that already within their first offseason that Steve Cohen and Sandy Alston have differing opinions. That's not good, because if the Mets ever do get a GM, if they ever do get a president of baseball operations, what if that president of baseball operations says, maybe we should really get DJ LeMahieu? What if the GM says, we should go after JT Realmuto? And then you have 4 different opinions on all 4 of these players. what do you do? I mean, we know that Sandy could really make the baseball decisions, but Cohen makes the money decisions. So, I mean, there definitely is some give or take here or there, and it definitely is just very interesting to see what kind of avenue the Mets go down. There still is a lot of combinations that the Mets could do, whether it is like Springer, McCann, Hendricks, and Odorizzi. Like, they could go so many different ways about it. So that definitely is the fascinating thing. But I just hope that they could get it done with McCann. Just sign him and get him on the team, because he helps you in a lot of different ways. He gives you that good pitch framing, which will help out the pitchers. He could swing a pretty good bat, was an all-star a couple of years ago, and he would just make your team better, because you need to upgrade at catcher, because Tomas Nido and Ali Sanchez are not going to cut it. Because if McCann signs with the Angels and JT Realmuto does not lower his asking price, because don't give Realmuto a 7-year deal. Do not do it. It just doesn't work giving a 30-year-old catcher that kind of money. So if you don't do that, what's your next option? Is it Yadi Molina? Is it Mike Zunino? Or are you just going to stick with Tomas Nido and Ali Sanchez? So if I'm the Mets, I'm not playing around here. If McCann wants 4 years, 48, fine. You know, I mean, it's what I have to do here, because I'm not going to give Realmuto. I mean, Realmuto still will want way more than that. So I have no choice. I've got to do something at catcher. It is a big-time position of need, and McCann is the most realistic option, because Realmuto's asking price is too high, not only money-wise, but more importantly, years-wise. And when it comes to a catcher and that age, it just doesn't work. Even baseball in general, it is extremely rare that you sign a guy to a 7-year, 10-year, 13-year kind of contract, and in those last few years, the guy is still performing at a really high level. We have not seen that yet. You know, we'll see how it works out with Mookie and Machado and Bryce and guys like this. But so far, deals like that have not worked out. Just look at what the Mets are doing with Cano. So if I'm the Mets, figure it out. Get McCann here by tonight so that I could post the video I made reacting to them signing the guy. I went through all that work, all that editing so far for nothing. Just for there to not really be a deal. So stop confusing me. Stop confusing Met fans. Stop making me scroll Twitter 24/7 and get it done. So until the next one, be safe, be smart, be healthy, and let's go Mets.